Hello, and welcome back to CoinLady channel. CoinGapeX ETH advisor Vitalik Buterin accuses me of coordinated fraud. Here's the headline. Now, from what I can tell, Steven Neria is a client of John Deaton's, and this is likely only the beginning of a flood of material. Thus, John Deaton's original wording was more along the lines of there is an attorney-client privilege there, but I think it's fine to read between the lines in this case. According to yesterday's news, attorney John Deaton now counts him as a client. And Steven didn't waste any time getting into Bitcoin. He started tweeting about Bitcoin back when it was only 30 cents. Even before the initial coin offering, ICO, he was working on the Ethereum, albeit he has since had a falling out with Vitalik Buterin and others. There are those, including Vitalik Buterin, who appear content to simply throw Steven Neria under the bus. Additionally, earlier this year, the dismissal of the complaint against Neria. The guy is fighting back. So, let me add this. I come into this situation with an open mind and ears, and I intend to report on anything I learn. For the record, I do not work as a journalist. It's no secret that most people in the XRP community, including myself, aren't exactly happy with Vitalik, but I want to make it clear that despite my personal feelings on the matter, I will continue to operate in good faith as usual and report as objectively as possible. That being said, I would like to see some evidence. In the meantime, it's worth mentioning that there are numerous assertions. But we ought to demand evidence. A lot of information appears to be on the verge of being made public. I guess I should just lay out where my head is at with all this. But, sure, let's start this thing rolling. Get the facts out there. I want to preface this by saying that I have zero experience in the financial sector. You shouldn't purchase or sell anything based on what I say, and I'm not a financial advisor. Just a hobbyist. Here that occasionally posts films to YouTube on various crypto-related topics. Okay, by now, I think most of you know what happened yesterday. On his live feed, attorney John Deaton discussed Steven Neria and other topics. After the broadcast, Steven from the Thank You, John Deaton area reposted it on X, formerly known as Twitter. I hope you'll take me along with some others after the truth finally emerges. In response, attorney Deaton said, there is no free pass for the truth, as I said on my live stream. Some of my crypto law peers have been critical or disagreed with me, so I suppose everyone's time will come. Always polite and considerate, that's me. Metallic, Joe, and Steve, I want you guys to come on live where we can't edit anything. And eventually, we'll uncover the truth. My best bet is that Metallic and Joe won't show up on crypto law, but John is being responsibly by inviting them nonetheless. However, I have a sense, shared by what I assume to be the vast majority of the XRP community, that something is not quite right. Consider what we've discovered in the past few years in light of the East Bay ICO. All of this business with the East Gate. I don't think it's necessary for me to describe what that is because everyone already knows. We can all define that. What's true and what's not, that is. This is that's why I doubt we'll hear any Metallics anytime soon. I doubt he is in a position where, if the truth is revealed, things will look well for him. On the other hand, you have Steven Neria, who was cleared of charges that could have sent him to prison for decades. Those accusations were apparently dropped by the government. He has now left in an effort to disseminate the news. This has piqued my interest. So, check out this report where XRP attorney John Deaton gains access to documents on purported Ethereum ICO leaks. I'll continue on to the next two parts of this discussion. Next, we'll get into the serious charges of systematic fraud. Those are some big words, so let's not mince them. But let me skim this quickly to make sure we're all caught up where we need to be. Over 70,000 XRP coin holders are represented by attorney John Deaton, who has kept the crypto world guessing about this revelation. The action is called Ripple v. U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. It has been speculated that early Ethereum network advisor Steven Neria will be making an announcement. The lawyer disclosed that the bulk of the announcement concerned some of the intriguing claims made by Neria, who the lawyer described as the most talked about person within the XRP community right now. Off claimed to have evidence of wrongdoings during the 2014 ICO for Ethereum. I now have a moment to ask you something, so let me. Is Charles Hoskinson under the impression that Nari over there is just plotting something massive? There must be a vast plot at work behind the scenes of everything related to death, right? I have no idea if he still believes it or if you agree with what Narioff says here, but the truce holds. A New York judge dropped extortion allegations against the Ethereum advisor in May 2023. He was accused of extorting a cryptocurrency startup that had hired him to help with their initial coin offering, ICO. But federal prosecutors had already recognized they couldn't prove the indictment's charges beyond a reasonable doubt. In a bombshell, Reza admitted that he has not seen any of the receipts Marriott says he does in order to back up his Ethereum allegations. ICO. Due to attorney-client privilege, the lawyer could not reveal the identity of the crypto project. I have seen some of the receipts Narioff claims to have. I understand that he was targeted by some persons at a cryptocurrency project ETH, he said, concluding that the insiders of the Ethereum ICO were not telling the truth. And I get why he thinks I may infer that those who keep their distance from Nari are not telling the truth when they say things like, "Go finger, that's a killer." I know. I shouldn't be surprised that Buterin is one of these folks. In all honesty, I find it hard to believe. The guy's mouth was a human spigot. And again, I insist on evidence, something we should all demand. However, I will add that Dean's word carries a lot of weight with me. That seems like a guy who wants to learn the truth and isn't afraid to ask for it. And I believe he has earned that respect and trust from myself at least, and hopefully from everyone here as well. And I believe that holds true for the vast majority of people. His assertion that, yeah, it looks like a lot of these people with ETH, they're actually lying in line about Neri office specifically, and all this stuff is pretty damning. And if Deaton is convinced, we may discuss the receipts Marriott claims to have. Sure, I'd like to see things with my own eyes, but all I'm saying is that I'll eventually agree with Attorney Deaton's position. Indeed, we all do. It's because of his actions and his determination to defend the truth. That means a lot to me, for sure. So, my best estimate at the moment is that you are correct. It would astound me. Obviously, he's right if Chuck Deaton lied about this. Yes, I do want to see proof of that. However, this does help quite a bit. In my own case. At least, that's how I'm seeing it. So then there was this, and then there was this, and now I'm going to share this article with you because it's about systematic fraud. Stephen Neri posted this earlier today and mentioned Vitalik Buterin in the caption. There are 4.9 million people who use the hashtag CryptoJudas, and they're going to take me and a few others with them. Check out this article, which runs as follows. This one, I feel like things are going to get pretty fascinating in the near to medium future, and maybe even a little bit spicy, but it's good, since we've got solid reason to suspect certain things. I'm interested in learning as much as can from him. To that end, I'm crossing my fingers that he'll be completely honest. With the way they've been treating him, I can't help but think the answer is yes. So once more, the headline ex-ETH advisor, I'm being accused of fraud, including Vitalik Buterin and a concerted effort. Stephen Nari, an ex-advisor at Ethereum, frequently launched new attacks against Vitalik Buterin, co-founder of Ethereum. After XRP lawyer John Deaton made the bombshell announcement that he had seen some of the invoices Narioff owns that demonstrate anomalies in the Ethereum initial coin offering in 2014, Narioff has been cleared of the extortion accusations against him. Marriott went into detail regarding the fraud charges made in the Metallica video, saying that Ethereum's inventor and his father, Dmitry Buterin, were behind a concerted and orchestrated effort to defame him. Italicized text refers to a video in which an individual accuses Nari of massive fraud and extortion against a firm. ICO say, "This was a father and son coordinated, staged character assassination designed to make me the scapegoat, Vitalik Buterin, and to frame me for a massive amount of fraudulent activity. To divert attention from himself, perhaps? Oh, you raise a valid point. Simply put, I do not have faith in metallic Buterin. And he makes a lot of unintelligible statements. Simply put, I don't think he believes what he says. Even if we disregard everything else he's said and focus solely on the rubbish he's said about XRP, I still don't think he's been an intellectually honest person here. And therefore, in that light, about the ETH ICO. That's why I'm pushing for as much transparency as possible. In other words, we have recordings of voices belonging to persons with ties to the ETH ICO, discussing how it is possible to conceal the fact that a whale is buying a large quantity of ETH by conducting a number of smaller transactions and the like. It's as though the goal was to obscure the true nature of the goings-on. This is common knowledge among XRP users. To think that the truth, which is currently concealed in the shadows like that, might one day be exposed to sunshine is incredibly exciting. I'm hoping for it, and I think we're going to get it based on what I've read so far, that Cohen has records demonstrating corrupt behavior at the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission and also around the ETH ICO, as reported by Nari Off and Deaton. He implied that further information will be revealed by saying that the Etherion Foundation staff had lied about the risk-off extortion. The additional XRP lawyer remarked, "The truth will come out and we're getting closer." I'm quoting. I feel like I would be negligent if neither I nor Michelle acknowledged how fascinating this is and what Metallic Buterin did. I saw the video clip that Dai posted of him speaking with Laura Shin, and from the tone of their conversation, I can tell that Laura Shin will blindly accept everything that Vitalik Buterin says. And all she's doing is asking, she's not even trying to verify the veracity of the claims. Given that she knew Stephen Neri off and also, what's the guy's name Virgil Griffith, a couple men, she's asking well. I'm paraphrasing, but she knew a couple folks early on that were linked with ETH. What, are you planning on altering your behavior in any way to avoid that happening again? I'm paraphrasing, but I assume she was asking whether you ever wondered if there was anything you could have done to avoid hanging around with such dubious characters. Now she's completely on board. She's ready to drink the Kool-Aid without wondering if it's logical. And that's when Stephen Nari got thrown under the bus by Vitalik Buterin. However, later in the same video, he expresses his admiration for Virgil Griffith. Now consider this. When Nari let the government know he was going to fight back, all the allegations against him disappeared overnight. But then you check out Griffith in virtual reality. The individual was found guilty. In fact, if you examine the I'm going to put a headline up. Virgil Griffith, the creator of the cryptocurrency Ethereum, was sentenced to 5 years in prison for visiting North Korea. So, Vitalik Buterin argues that he feels the government is incorrect, and that Virgil Griffith is a friend of his. Even now, I can recall reading the story. I'm sure I've talked about it a few times on my channel. I was definitely immersed in the narrative at the moment. This isn't me, and it's not me, since it happened years ago. The EFF project's Virgil Griffith, on the other hand. He gone to the North Korean country. What exactly were the costs in this case? Before making this video, I brushed up on the topic by reading this article or one like it. Right, so now we begin. For his role in facilitating the use of cryptocurrency by North Koreans to circumvent sanctions, former Ethereum creator Virgil Griffith will spend the next 63 months in prison and pay a fine of $100,000. Here's the scoop, then. He was arrested for real criminal activity and sent to this prison. This guy is totally into photography. However, the allegations against Stephen Neri were eventually dropped. You can count that one as the antagonist. It's all just lies and deceit. And that's why Vitalik Buterin tried to convince you that something wasn't quite right. Let me tell you something. This means I need additional evidence. However, I am prepared to listen and report on the channel regardless of what may be broadcast. Nonetheless, that's the most recent development. There will undoubtedly be further developments. In other words, keep an eye out for the upcoming developments, as I believe they will ultimately confirm that the XRP community was correct in many of the fears we've held over the past several years. Since I'm not a certified financial planner, you shouldn't use my advice to make any investments or trades. Please like and subscribe my channel. See you later, bye.